Hello and welcome to Warblog. This is just a sort of a quick video to discuss a few sort of, I don't know whether strategic or tactical options or ideas or concepts or whatever, thoughts. But I've just got a Kindle, which is like a tablet device. I've had a tablet before, and I was just sort of fiddling around with it. You can't play Warblog on a Kindle, but you can look at it and you can zoom in. Now I zoomed in and you can do a screenshot, and then so I can sort of do things on it. Not like this. I can't move. There's no mouse, although I have looked into sort of trying to get a mouse for something like that, but it's sort of fairly irrelevant. And also maybe doing a screen video, but it seems more trouble than it's worth. But I can do a screenshot and upload it to Facebook, and so if I can look at something, but you can zoom in, and I zoomed in on to sort of this game here, and I was saying, well, because you can see you get 3 airborne units, and I was thinking if you put one there, and one in either of these spaces, when you attack that unit, because he can't go there, this is in a zone of control, this is in the zone of control, and as these are occupied, he would have to retreat to there. So that would be the idea. That would be, I mean, not the ideal, but I was just thinking that would be a good move. I mean, there would be reason for going there and there. I mean, ideally, I mean, realistically, you could just put both units there. In fact, I probably do just as well. I wonder if it would work. I mean, I could. I couldn't just go there. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to make this video too long with my pontifications. But basically, you could put all your units. In fact, you could put both units in these 2 hexes, and then that would force that to retreat. This RENAMO unit to retreat south, and that's pretty much it. So it's not rocket science, and so I'm going to do it. But I've been sitting there, and when I did it this morning, I was looking at it. I was thinking, this is really great. You can zoom in and see things quite clearly and look at the strategy. And this is a great one to do it because it's so simple. You know, some of the larger ones, you know, you've got more to play with. But you know, even with something as simple as this, there are some sort of interesting things that you can think of. So I said put one unit there, and one in one of these. But you don't even need one of these. You just need these 2. Now the benefit of that is because if you just, let's suppose you just go here and put everyone in this hex here and attack there. Well, okay, he could retreat there, but he could retreat there. And once they've got 2 of them in one hex, it becomes a little harder. Now I'm not saying that it's ever going to be difficult, but you know, obviously you want to optimize what you're doing if you're sort of like, you know, planning this strategically. Obviously, you know, people don't plan things around large hexes, but you know, this is the nature of the game. So anyway, enough sort of talking. I mean, basically, so what I'm going to do, I'm trying to come down here and then force this to retreat south, and then move all my units into there, and then go across here. Now, what I'm sort of trying to think of, do I put all of them into these hexes, and then put a big stack there, which means he can't attack me back, and then attack across the river, or what? I think no matter what I do, I'm going to be quite strong. So I'm going to put. I'm going to have to go through the painful landing process. Air insertion, okay. So that went through. Okay. He doesn't have any anti-air defense, as I should say. Okay, so everything got through safely. So now, thing is, they're all moved up. So that's ironic. Well, it sort of doesn't matter because obviously it's all about thinking, and I'm not very good at that, clearly, because now it's quite apparent that if he wants to move in there and double up, he can. Or rather, I'm such a stupid person, because now just to move across here. Look at that. Well, I mean, the thing is, it's one of these situations where you're going to win anyways. How do you do it? Because, I mean, that's it. I mean, what are they going to do? Well, maybe they could. Look at that. I do a video to demonstrate my enormous strategic capabilities, and I beat myself up with a stupid piece of wood. I mean, look, two of these, so that's going to be 10. That's going to be 3 to 1. That's going to be good as the. I suppose if I'd done it the other way. Oh, I don't know. It's so complicated. Okay. I was sort of 3 to 1. Oh, look at that. It got the stupid dice roll. So, okay. Well, so that's what happened. I mean, we can go around and we can now write up our Times newspaper report on, you know, preemptive assault by RENAMO rebels after Zimbabwe airmobile companies land to secure Mutarara rail route over the Zambezi River, etc., etc. However, the rebel assault was fended off, minimum casualties. Although the Zimbabweans did claim that they killed 127 rebels during that assault, and only had one of their armoured cars slightly scratched, something like that. Okay, so Zimbabwe. So obviously we're going to take that now. So the brave Zimbabweans now are going to sort of counter-attack. So this is going to be 9 versus 2, so it's going to be 4 to 1, possibly a 5 to 1. Yep, because of this round, 10%. I can't do the maths. So, and they retreated to there. Now, the question was, could they have retreated to this village because of that river? I just can't remember what's set up. So, but anyway. Okay. They still have some movement as well. So it's going to be about 3 to 1. Ah, look at that. I split them up. Okay. Well, that's sort of it, really. I mean, I think you know, there's not much more to sort of do and say. I mean, it's sort of one of these things that it's not a competitive game. It's just how do you work it? You know, could I have maybe done something else to, not so much to fight it, but to maybe run away earlier up this road? Because essentially, what happened historically, a number of them fled to Malawi, and those that didn't were pretty much caught. So these obviously have not fled to Malawi. They chose to defend and were beaten back, and are now at the mercy of these units should they choose to follow up. Now there's no real opportunity here for a counterattack, mainly because this stack is worth 6. I mean, even if it's not worth 6 because it's got a depression of, well, it's not got any depressions now because they've just, I don't know why, but so they're worth 6. We can't get the irregular bonus against a 5 or less unit manpower unit, and so that would be a 1 to 3 attack, so they're not going to do that. So really, they only have one option, and that's to run away. And the question is, can they actually even run away? Okay. Well, so that's the railway bridge retaken. Now I could have followed them up, but I'm not going to, because I don't want to sort of split my forces up unnecessarily. I mean, what I mean is, if I come down here, I'd have to keep them stacked together, and they would be pretty strong. But if I failed in any regard, they could counter-attack. You know, I have gained the objectives. I could chase these units, away, but I'm not going to. So that's pretty much that. I only really did it again just to sort of, reiterate, bleeding obvious, but I think there's definite scope. I was just looking through these things. I'm not trying to sort of sell a Kindle, but I've just been sort of looking and thinking, and I mean, one of the things I did see on the Kindle, because I had to go into the App Store, and I didn't look for war games, but I had to sort of go in there, and because I wanted to pair it up, or I don't know, I had to go into the Kindle App Store or something, and so I can register my device would be registered. I don't know how it all works, but anyway, in there there's a couple of hex games, and they're all Second World War, I think. Anyway, I mean, they're not particularly, they didn't appeal to me that much, but I've downloaded one of them. I think I've downloaded two, and I only played one partially, and I just found it really difficult to actually play. I'm not sure I really want to play on a Kindle, but what I found really quite difficult, I mean, it's just, I don't want to turn too critical about the games, but the games in particular, I'm not sure whether they're designed for the Kindle or how you're supposed to really play them, but I couldn't really figure out where my strengths were, maybe because it was a bit unfamiliar with the system or whatever, but I was just sort of looking at the the game, and I just ended up sort of pushing these counters around. I think it was Poland, I was Germany, and I was attacking Poland at the beginning of the war or something. And I was just looking at it, and I couldn't really figure out the strategy, because you zoom in, you zoom out. One minute you really, it's quite difficult to zoom to sort of control in or out, and I couldn't really sort of fathom out the strategy. One of the reasons being because the units moved so quickly. You could move your armoured units sort of like a long way, and it's quite hard to visualise, the significance of being, say, in this hex or this hex. It wasn't really like that. You just sort of, zoom all the way along there, beat them up, and they retreat, and it's a very different game to this. And I came back to this, and I sort of think, well, what is it I like about this? And I think it's the fact that, there is that archetypal strategic element to it. You're sort of thinking, well, I'll move here and here, and then I could do, the attack. I've got the zones of control. I can force the retreat in a certain direction. I can also make the mistakes as I did, there. And to be quite honest, I sort of thought, well, I was pretty happy with just looking at this scenario. I looked at the other one as well, the Operation Vibras 92, which is a bit of an odd one because the map and everything is just a bit awkward to look at. And I thought, this is great because you can zoom in and you can look at it on something like a Kindle, and you can just look at the strategy, and it's exactly what I wanted to achieve when I first devised things. And you don't, I think the difference between this game and a lot of the other games is that to appreciate these other games, you actually have to play them. I mean, it's quite difficult to sort of see any sort of strategy in those games to some extent. I don't want to be too harsh on them, but I think you can, the way that this war blog thing is all set up, you can actually play the strategy without playing the game. Anyway, it's nearly 15 minutes. I hope I haven't sounded too odd. Just wanted to sort of test that out. I'll maybe speak to you later. Bye.